Hey guys, it's the Crypto Cowboy. It's on Saturday morning here, Chicago time, on the 28th of December. And this year is almost over, so this will be the last weekly video of this year. And I wish everybody a happy new year and a great 2020. Okay, so let's take a look at our three main counts in Bitcoin. And I'm going to start a little bit on a reverse here, just by looking first at the pin count, where we do have this design as a triangle following the final Z lag of this triple three correction that we have up here, where we have a W, X, Y, X, and Z. First wave of the last correction here, it's A, is in 5 waves, and now we're doing this triangle in a wave B, and then we have one more drop in this wave Z of larger 2 towards the 618 support at about 5,500, and following this drop we should get a move up higher. Now this is not my preferred count, but I do want to kind of just keep an eye on it, just so I'm not surprised in case this one pans out. If we're taking out the 7717 zone, this count will become less and less likely, because right after that we have the wave A top, and then the moment this wave C goes above the wave A, this triangle will become invalid. So let's keep an eye on it and see how the price action develops down here. But basically we have a 3-wave move up in C, and then this is kind of a first wave move down in A, or A is here, and we have some kind of a smaller triangle within this D lag that we're making some kind of a complex correction in here, and then the market will slowly drop down towards 6,700 or 6,800, and then we turn around and go back up in E, and so on and so forth. So if the market decides to keep going this way, more than likely we'll find ourselves in some sort of a triangle. Upon its completion, we should get a move lower, like I said before. So, it's something that I just, want to give it the benefit of the doubt until we're actually taking the top of this wave A. So this would be for me, 7,700 top of wave C will be the first indication, and then top of wave A. Okay, and then we should be approaching this downward sloping trend line that's going to be, very indicative of a breakout if we're kind of managing to break through that. Okay, then on this red count that we have, as an alternate as well, so what I want to do here, like I said, I want to give this trend the benefit of the doubt, this correction, that it's not complete just yet, and I want to look at this as WXYX, and then having this as a flat correction instead of a triangle, where you have a wave A, and now you're doing a flat in wave B, where you go A up, and then you have this 3-wave correction down in B, and now we're doing a 5-wave correction up in C of this larger B as a flat, and then we're dropping back down again towards 5,500 in this final C lag in blue. That should complete somewhere down here at about the same levels like we have them down into this count that's pink. So for this one, near term, we would have to climb up here as a wave 1 and 2, and then some sort of a 3, 4, and 5. So for this one, there's not a lot of room to maneuver. So that's why it's kind of an alternate, because you don't want to see the wave C of a flat go above 138% of wave A down here. Okay, so the moment this one would extend larger or longer, then I would have trouble still considering this a flat. So I want to stay with this leg below here. So for that to happen, this wave 3 would have to be smaller than wave 1. So whatever happens here, and then wave 5 would have to be slower, smaller than wave 3. Otherwise, wave 3 will become the shortest wave, and that's not correct. So that's why for this one, there's not a lot of room here to maneuver for the price action. So this one we'll find out pretty quickly if it works or not. Okay, but this one has the same implication. So near term bullish, but then bearish after we're hitting the top of this trend line. Okay, and then let's go to my primary count, which says that the count is actually complete, and by looking at some of the other altcoins, it could be the case. Let me just save this up, and then you're going on this green count, where we basically say, if I go to a daily chart, we're basically saying that this move up is complete as wave 1. Obviously, last year in December, 6 months of a correction down here. This correction was complete on December 18 with this final drop in wave 5 of the C of Y of 2. So still a complex correction here, a flat in wave Y. And then since then we've had this actually, no, you have a zigzag obviously in wave Y. It's just a flat in wave B. So my mistake, I'm sorry. So you have a 1, 2, 3, 4 triangle down here, and then final flush down in 5 on December 18. And since then the market is pulling back, and we're trying to develop a bullish case. So by looking at this, and you can see how you have this 1618 C versus B in the flat. This is right here. So very nice targets down to the trend line as well. So you're looking at, we go to a 2-hour chart, and you're looking at this wave 1 up as being an impulse wave. I've had this counted, differently, but because of the price action that we've had for the past couple of days here, it's hard for me to count this as a wave C of a flat. So my original count here, if you come into the room and you look at it, it was basically, this was a wave 1 in green was here. And then you've had this as an A, some kind of a B up in here in an A, B, C triangle up in B, and then down in C. But this move up here in this wave X kind of threw me off. And it's hard to kind of 5-wave move in a C leg of a flat. So I'm still having a little bit of an issue, with this development down here. But if you're counting it, and this is extremely, it's correct. If you're counting this wave first from this December 18 lows, as a first impulse up in a wave 1, and then you're doing this as a wave 2, okay, you have a WX triangle in Y for a wave 2, so you have a complex correction in this wave 2, and then you're going up in a 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 for a wave 3, and then you have a flat in 4 down here, and then, I'm sorry, you have a triangle in 4. If you go to a smaller time frame, you can count this as a triangle, and then you have the final move up here as a 5th wave for a wave 1 in green. Okay, so now you're doing a complex correction in the wave 2. You come in the previous area of a wave 2 down here, and you're having it as an ABC for W. You have an X3 wave up, which comes close to this wave B top, which is the way it's supposed to for these connector waves. And then you're doing a Y wave down in an ABC, and now you're complete on the correction. All right, so that's how I'm looking at it, and I think this is the ideal way to count it. And I would want for the market to start developing up here impulsively to the top side, and I'm getting my clues from Litecoin, because Litecoin has already broken up, or it's very close to breaking above this wave top down here, right? So if you look at the structure, it's very, very similar. In Bitcoin, we are still somewhere down here into this area. And basically, I'm looking for Bitcoin to kind of do the similar thing and start pushing up and just breaking above this line and moving up higher. So interesting developments. I want to see, how this pans out. Obviously, now if this is a wave 1 and this is a wave 2 can still come a little bit lower. So in case we're doing some kind of a different wave count and more of a complex correction, let me just see where this wave 2 is. I don't think it's, we go see 2 versus 1. So we basically pull about 50%. So, for a wave 2, this is totally fine. We could even come a little bit lower, to about 618 or even 786 down here as a wave 2. And then we're going to have to change the count. But by allowing this to be a wave 1, this would be a good indication that, we can allow for this wave 2 to develop and still consider this wave count bullish and complete, right? So now if we're taking the lows down here at about 6,400, then we're going to the next one that says that we're actually going lower to 5,500. So that's how I look at it, and I kind of try to identify where I'm wrong and which counts actually make more sense, and just to kind of be prepared. So right now I'm like I said, cautiously bullish based on the end of this move and based on some of the other altcoins on their move. So let's see what happens. But I think we're pretty close to a completion into this 6-month correction. Let's take a quick look at the candle charts as well. And you will see down here, basically this is a 2-day chart. No, this is a 1-week chart. And you have this nice kind of bullish hammer with the downside rejection that we've had from this trend line. So I think this, for me, it's a pretty strong indication that we might be embarking into something better up here. I do want to see a little bit of a, more of a bullish price action from these candles. You can see that we're still struggling for direction, but we have very low volatility in here. But I think we're about to get an explosion out of this one. So you've had some divergences down here as well, and we could be here very close to completion. I think that if this is not the low, we're very close to it. So like I said, I'm pretty excited about the new year, and let's see how the month of January comes to fruition. Let me take a look at the monthly charts, and that's going to close here shortly in a couple of days. So you can kind of see, if I go, I'm just going to make this a little bit bigger, you can kind of see how we're getting buying from the downside here, right? You can see how when the market was selling off, the wicks were a little bit longer because there was selling pressure coming into the market here. And now the buyers, the market sells off and then people buy it. Market sells off and then people buy it, and we close, much higher than the lows of the candle. And I think this is a pretty good indication that we might be embarking here into the next candle, for example, starting to get a bullish candle into January, possibly into 10,000. And then, if we break the top of the trend line, then, we can embark, and we got time for the next year or so or something, 6 months to a year to start working towards taking the top, the highs of this 14,000 and then just embark into the next trend up here, which could be, a wave 3 or something else. But, you can clearly see how this move down here, it's nice and corrective, comparing with this move up here that was nicely and impulsive. Okay, so pay attention to candle analysis as well. I think it's, they speak a great deal of language, and a great deal of how, the buyers and the sellers are kind of fighting this market, and who's winning each fight each month. And, it's good to give us some clues. Okay, so, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hit that thumbs up button if you want, and any suggestions you have, leave them in the comments below. As I've said, we're going to open a premium room some point in January. I'm still working on an Elliot Wave course that's pretty comprehensive, and it's got a lot of lessons and things like that, and it's going to be part of the new room I'm opening up, so people can go through it and know what we're talking about if you're a beginner. And we're going to have a lot more information on there, so that's going to be some point in January. I'm not sure exactly which day we'll launch it, but it's in the works. All right, so thanks guys for watching, and I'll see you next week. All right, bye bye.